Tell Blue Light Control the doors of Grossmuchen will open for David March if he can be kept alive.
They're sending a man named Spaulding.
Anything to keep March alive. Tell them. Go on!
Allow me.
it an air raid?
Well, here in Berlin? Don't be ridiculous.
How long have you been with this man?
Don't you believe in knocking?
I beg your pardon, Fräulein von Lindendorf. A firebomb has been set in the conference room. We are checking on everyone's whereabouts. How long have you been together in this room?
Oh, really, Elm? There's some things even the SS needn't know about. Now, come on. I'll give you a hand putting out that fire.
Herr General, these were all I could save. It will take 72 hours to update the statistic maps and charts.
General, a moment, please.
You will have them by noon tomorrow. Take a motorcycle escort to General Staff Headquarters. And tell them this is to have top priority.
General, I would like to call your attention to the fact that the man responsible may still be in this building. I can allow no one to leave.
That cannot include members of my personal staff.
Until the saboteur is apprehended, yes. The scale model of the Grossmünchen project has been purposely destroyed.
Fortunately, it is only that. A model.
For all we know, portions of the model may have been removed prior to the detonation. Need I remind you that Grossmünchen is top secret? You will please grant me permission to search the personal belongings of each of your guests.
All right. Get on with it. Did you check the American?
I can vouch for him, Father. Unless Herr Elm considers me an enemy of the Reich also.
Well, Elm, you had a question concerning our activities before the bomb went off. What was it again?
It can wait.
I tried to warn you a few days ago about your security precautions. Now, any one of us could have been murdered in bed.
Excuse me, please.
One day you'll push him too far, Liebling.
Yes, March, I agree. And you're making it increasingly difficult for me to get you into Grossmünchen. Once you have seen the terrifying weapon we are building, you'll have an important task to perform. Acquaint the American public with the harsh reality that they cannot win this war.
A situation I forecast several years ago. Only this time America will listen.
Tread softly. A man like Elm will take pleasure in destroying you, with no concern for your great value to the Reich or your position in the occupation of North America.
I can't agree. Underneath it all, I think Elm actually likes me.
I want a written order calling for the arrest of David March.
My dear fellow, March is officially assigned to the intelligence division of the German High Command. He's one of the most valuable operatives they have. The man gave up his country, his citizenship for us.
What makes you so sure he isn't pretending to be a traitor? But he's actually feeding us false information.
Well, what he brought back from Switzerland certainly wasn't false, and his work in the Netherlands should... One moment. Are you willing to take full responsibility for the repercussions if March should turn out to be genuine?
Gruppenführer, Blue Light is the code name for an organization of 18 agents bent on destroying us. I've made it my business to track down 17 of them. March is the 18th. I will stake my life on that. Of course, I will put it in writing. And in return, I require a summary death warrant bearing March's name, undated. I'll fill that in myself.
I would be positive I had proof. It would be a shame if you executed March and couldn't back it up. In that case, the Reich would lose 2 loyal followers. Is that clear?
Absolutely clear. When March is given his next assignment, I shall be with him. A little.
Good suggestion, Heinz. We either dispose of a very dangerous Allied agent or a very troublesome Gestapo official. Or both.
March. I won't talk with anyone but David March. I didn't come all the way to Lisbon to see anyone else. I told you that when I phoned your embassy.
Why must it be March?
We're old cronies. Long before Hitler invaded Poland, David told me what he'd do if England got into it. He trusted me. And now I'm willing to trust him. And only him.
Dr. Spaulding, Berlin will never take the chance of sending March here, to Lisbon. There's too much danger of an assassin. You are aware of how he is hated.
I'll give you 2 days. After that, I disappear into the woodwork, along with all my photostats of the British air defense system. I hear old Davy lives pretty high in Berlin. Changing sides can be quite an attractive profession. He may have started a trend.
Sure, I knew Guy Spaulding, and I was with the International News Service about 180 years ago. Now, what has that got to do with spiriting me away from a weekend at Baroness von Heitzing's?
Spaulding wants to see you. He claims he's defected. Followed your example. He's asking asylum in Germany for the duration of the war.
Naturally, he requested an audience with me. He always did suffer from hero worship.
Your priest will serve your wit for your next cocktail party.
If you behave yourself, I might wangle you an invitation. You could do yourself some good at the right affairs.
You strut and pretend. Do you really think you are accepted? You are a curiosity, a freak, with your clothes, your manners, your aristocratic friends. While men are dying at the front, you...
If I'd stayed in the States, I'd be fighting there too, but on the wrong side.
That's why you came over. To avoid conscription.
Now, I'm much more ambitious than you give me credit for being. The National Socialism is going to win, isn't it? And when America is defeated, I'll rewrite the history books. And those words, freak, curiosity, traitor, will be replaced by one word, patriot. There's a nice ring to it. You do think we're going to win, don't you, Ron?
We'll question Spaulding in Lisbon and give me a report. We'll examine the photostats he's carrying and give me an opinion as to their validity. If he is trying to fool us, we'll bring him back with us and use some new chemicals to get at the truth. Is he on our side or is he a spy? Your decision. Weigh it carefully.
What are we stopping for? This isn't the frontier.
We are picking up a passenger.
Mademoiselle? Tell me, Gorlick, who's our new traveling companion? What? One thing I like about you, Gorlick, you always speak your mind.
This should be comfortable.
The cable said you would bring information regarding Guy Spaulding.
Would you please?
Mademoiselle Deschamps, about Spaulding.
Spaulding is what you might call a ringer, a trained British agent coming over posing as a turncoat.
You say a trained agent, but Spaulding is a scientist.
When I was in London, pleading my father's case before the Free French, Spaulding and I became, shall we say, close. One night, he made the mistake of saying he had gone to intelligence school at Dorchester. He was drunk. I'm sure he doesn't remember telling me.
Our people in London can check this out. If March does not expose Spaulding, that is sufficient proof.
Proof of what?
You have to say nothing of this to March. You relieved, Golek. March, this is Mademoiselle Duchard, David March.
The company is improving. Please sit down. Make yourself comfortable. I saw you once before in Paris. At a distance, you were on your father's arm. Of course, that was before his disgrace.
I'd rather not discuss it.
As is typical of the French underground to take a hero of 1918 and then string him up like a common criminal just a few years later. After all, his collaboration was for the good of France.
I begged the resistance leaders to let my father die like a soldier before a firing squad with honor. But they refused.
So that's why you joined my club. Well, I think at least a few of us should enjoy the war.
It's stuffy in here. Could you open the window, please?
Have you some soap?
Haven't you looked?
How do you get soap like this? For rationing on perfumed. Well, then for Lindendorf's?
Mine, imported.
Perhaps Mademoiselle Duchard would like some. Creature comforts are so scarce.
No, thank you.
Then I have a young lady friend in Lisbon.
Well, then, take a fresh cake.
Oh,
Take two.
thank you. One would think you were with the black market. What else do you keep in there? Golek, get me a report on casualties.
I'll have to thank the RAF for this Sunday. Are you comfortable?
Mary? I've got a message from Traven. Mr. Traven, 16 Chelsea Lane, near the street of Blue Light.
Are you wounded?
I don't feel anything. But I think I could use the soap now. May I have it?
Yes, I think so.
Thank you.
Charming. What's her part in this mission?
You will rendezvous with Spaulding at 1 o'clock tomorrow. You will be allowed the utmost freedom and privacy in your questioning of him. Remember, we are depending upon you.
March! You look as fit as ever. Looks like the Nazis have been treating you well.
No complaints, guy.
I hope you don't think I'm trying to steal the spotlight from you, but you've had a monopoly on treason for long enough. Where are they?
Scattered around, they can't hear us.
Has Suzanne briefed you?
We weren't alone long enough.
Eisenhower needs to know what's being built 200 feet below ground at Grossmünchen. It may be the ace that Hitler's holding back for use against us on D-Day, whenever it comes. We've got to get inside Grossmünchen.
That may have been possible once, but not now.
Helm suspects me.
That's why I'm here. After today, the Gestapo will never doubt you again. You see, Suzanne's already informed them that I'm a British spy. Right now, her report's being checked out. We've left a good trail of clues that the Jerrys will be sure to sniff out.
Or don't they realize they've sent you into a death trap?
Exactly, David. And tonight, after examining the papers I've brought, you will denounce me, and in full view of Elm and his associates, you will shoot me to death. All I ask is that you make it quick.
Guy, you know I can't follow those orders.
I wasn't picked for this mission. I volunteered. You see, I have nothing to lose. I've contracted a terminal disease. It's incurable. I have another 6 to 10 weeks at the outside.
Well, how can you be certain, Guy? I mean, the odds say I should have been dead a month ago. Your doctors can be wrong, too.
That's why I mustn't be taken alive. The German doctors examined me and diagnosed my condition. They'd realized I was a plant. I have to die here in Lisbon.
Well, I won't do it. Not to save my own skin.
This has nothing to do with you personally. You're not a man. You're the most critically important agent in Europe. 17 others have died to put you in that position. You're to penetrate Grossmünchen, determine exactly what Eisenhower needs to know, and slow down or destroy the project.
All right. I've lost track of how many I've had to kill under orders, but I've never yet had to shoot down one of my own friends. Now, there comes a time when you've got to question your orders. You turn into something very much like the enemy.
You're supposed to be the enemy. A full-fledged Nazi. Tonight you'll earn their respect. They'll admire the cold-bloodedness with which you eliminate a former chum.
Is British intelligence in on this?
Certainly not. Straight blue light project, strictly chiefs of staff.
Planned right down to the last degree, sacrificial lamb.
Don't pity me. You'll probably never get out of Grossmünchen alive. It's suicide for both of us. I'll say my goodbye now, David. We'll see each other very soon, I'm afraid.
Guy, there's got to be an alternative.
If positions were reversed, I'd do it to you.
Good evening.
You forgive us for starting dinner, don't you?
Yes, of course. Spaulding should never have suggested someone who knew him quite as well as I did.
Precisely what are you saying?
He's a phony. He's been coached by experts. They had Guy memorize things that he never would have thought about twice. I tripped him up no less than 3 times.
I see.
It was a very wise decision bringing me here, Elm. He might have gotten past you.
I'll find out a great deal more when I question him personally at my leisure.
You're not going to try and take him across the border.
You're fully aware of my intentions. I told you, March.
Portugal is neutral. And we could get ourselves clapped into prison for the duration of the war if we tried kidnapping a British national.
You're suggesting we simply exit gracefully, huh?
No, not at all. I don't like being used by British spies. Now, Spaulding tried to play me for the fall guy in this, and I think his superiors need a lesson. I want Spaulding left behind, all right. Dead.
Without further opportunity to question him.
He has nothing more to tell.
How can I be sure of that?
Your report is correct. As I informed Herr Elm yesterday, Spaulding is clearly a double agent.
Be quiet.
But you only told me a few minutes ago that your agents in London had confirmed that fact.
It's not a matter for open discussion.
Did you drag me away from my weekend to put me to some kind of test? I fully intend to lodge a protest at the ministry.
I simply wish to compare your reports, to be doubly sure.
What, did you think Mademoiselle Duchard had been lying to you? Well, surely you trust your 5th column in England.
This Spaulding was once your close friend. Why do you suddenly favor such harsh treatment for him?
Precisely because he was a personal acquaintance. I wish it to be made quite clear that I am not in sympathy with him. You don't have any feelings for him, do you, Elm?
Your gesture is hardly necessary. We'll take him alive.
May I go on record once more in warning you that you may be leading us into a trap? It's a shame to waste such beautiful music.
Will you excuse me, gentlemen?
Pick up Spaulding. Immediately.
You overplayed it. He suspects something is wrong.
That's right. In 10 minutes, you'll go to the nearest phone and dial 759. That's British intelligence here in Lisbon. Tell them that a British agent has been kidnapped and is being taken into Germany tonight. They'll know where to look.
I'm not authorized to do that. It's against orders.
Well, I'm issuing a new directive.
You're ruining everything.
Smile. They're watching. Now, I'm doing the leading, young lady, and sometimes I make up the steps as I go along.
Do you believe I want Spaulding to die? It's horrible, but...
Save it. Did you pass on the soap?
Yes.
Repeat that phone number.
759.
This is a hospital ship, and I cannot permit it to be used for military purposes.
Start the engines. Where is he?
March! Am I glad to see you?
We'll be spending several days together, Herr Spaulding. My name is Elm, and I will take over your interrogation. I'm going to give you a drug to relax you.
What's wrong? I mean, Dave, you must have told you I'm on the level. You must have some influence, Dave.
Roll up your sleeve.
Dave! Don't leave me on my own like this. Why are you looking at me like that?
Don't be afraid. We are going to find out who is lying here.
Dave!
It didn't work, Guy. I didn't need a needle to burst your balloon. I turned you in.
No, I guess I'm not a good actor. I could never pretend to be as rotten as you. I could never acquire the stench. You've sold out your friends, your country, everything that makes living worthwhile. Even those you work for hate you. You're a dead man, March. You're dead!
Made it a little easier than I thought. Give me your Luger. Elm, I said, give me your Luger.
There's still too much unexplained.
Are you going to go on protecting him? Go like you heard him. And send a few more over like you. We'll see how long they last.
Wait. I just you wait. Something is going on here. It's all too neat, too simple. 5 minutes more will make no difference.
What do you expect to happen in 5 minutes? Why are you stalling for time?
He confessed too easily. There's something more.
Why are you trying to keep him alive? Why all this emotion about an enemy agent? You're the one who needs intensive cross-examination.
British agents!
Well, Elm, it seems your friends have arrived.
You liar.
Elm In the name of the Third Reich, I place you under arrest for treason.
Gorlick, you have a beautiful speaking voice. Now, how do we get off this boat?
Through the engine room and up to the bow. Move.
No sense in taking Spaulding along. You go ahead.
Make it quick.
Look, whether you live 3 weeks or 3 years, you'll have to be officially dead. One mistake and it's my life.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get to learn how the war turns out after all.
I can tell you how it's going to turn out.
Good luck in Grossmünchen.
I'm Heinrich Elm, Captain Führers der Leaguard. I demand to be taken as a prisoner of war.
Sit down, March. Why was I dragged away from my train and brought here?
You will sit and you will not ask questions. Now, about this affair in Lisbon.
Personally, I shall always remember it as a pleasure trip.
You claim the scientist you interviewed was really a British spy? You're sure he's quite dead?
As sure as I am that Germany will win the war.
I can vouch for Herr March. I was there.
Did you actually see March shoot Spaulding?
Well, we were all being pursued. I don't think I looked back.
Then you saw nothing.
Well, at least Spaulding knows he's dead.
We are forced to hold you, pending further investigation.
Colonel Richter, you have heard of an Allied organization operating under code name Blue Light.
Continue.
I regret to inform you that our own Gestapo official Heinrich Elm was the last member of Blue Light. And now that he has been rescued by his Allied friends, Blue Light is finished, wiped out.
Elm always was a difficult fellow. Not really one of us.
But it does make one wonder about the efficiency of the SS.
Elm even went so far as to obtain a warrant calling for the death of Herr March.
I must be very valuable to the Reich if Elm wanted me out of the way so badly. If you don't mind. How many more like Elm are there in the Gestapo? Sure, you must have some suspicions of your own.
You will deliver to me a security report on each and every member of your unit. You are dismissed. Would you like a drink? Must forgive me for the impression I might have given when you first entered. It isn't easy to overlook the fact that you're an American.
Richter, my grandmother was German-born. I am now a German citizen and a party member, in better standing than some I could mention.
I hope you won't mention the Elm incident to General von Freund.
The High Command has assigned me to the Intelligence Division. Now, you can't expect me to cover up the existence of Allied agents inside the Gestapo. No. No, the Fuhrer must be notified, and I'm sure he'll take some action.
I would hate to add to the first little problems.
You call spies within the Fuhrer's own elite guard a little problem? Well, it's lucky they kept me here in Berlin to see that this matter is handled properly instead of sending me off to Grossmünchen.
General von Freund's request for March's transfer to the Grossmünchen project. Where is it?
It was rejected, sir. It's going back through channels.
Get hold of it and send it through again. We'll arrange for it to be approved.
I beg your pardon, sir, but as a propaganda expert, March does not have sufficient clearance to be permitted inside our top-secret factory. It wouldn't be safe.
On the contrary, it is the safest place in Germany for him and for us. 200 feet below the ground, with no means of communication with the outside world. He won't make any trouble for us. Within 24 hours, March will be buried, so to speak.
Question about Germany losing the war, I wouldn't be here right now. We're both realists.
Yes, you know, Turkey must remain a neutral power.
But there are neutrals, and then there are neutrals. Now, you've been selling most of your chromium to the Allies.
Those contracts have been in effect before hostilities.
Yes, but Hitler won't remember that when the war is over. Now, take my advice. Break off your contracts. Don't gamble. Sell to Germany. I'm speaking to you now as a friend.
Unfair, very unfair, Ambassador. You have monopolized him all evening.
Now, don't you just start fighting over me. I've just patched up German-Turkish relations. But, of course, I cannot refuse the Baroness.
Oh, Suzanne, I believe you know David March.
Of course. I was sure you'd get out of Lisbon safely without even messing your hair.
I'm flattered you thought.
Mr. March never stays long enough to face any danger.
Well, your father stayed too long, and he was executed by the French underground. Isn't that why you came over to our side?
My father was a soldier who knew that France's destiny was with Germany. Is it true you announced your American citizenship to avoid conscription?
Well, now, can you imagine me in a foxhole? I would have been a very poor soldier.
You're just perfect as a house pet.
Well, at last you have met a woman able to resist your charms.
Mademoiselle, you won't have to put up with me much longer. They're shipping me to Grossmünchen tomorrow for a very long stay.
I understood that particular assignment was impossible to arrange.
Nothing is impossible for the Gestapo. They're a very efficient organization. And they know that I shall turn this assignment into very useful propaganda.
So now you're the darling of the SS as well.
Why is it that you dislike me? Is it because of the remarks I made about your father? If the resistance hadn't hanged him, he probably would have done it himself.
Why do you deliberately infuriate her?
Oh, I don't know. Somehow I have the feeling that she likes it.
March advises he's going to Grossmünchen. I await instructions.
Arrange to stay close to March. Function as outside contact.
Welcome to Großmünchen. It's amazing how my request for your services was so suddenly approved. Well, take one last look at the sunlight. You won't be seeing it again for a month.
General, this is Mademoiselle Suzanne Beauchard, whom the Gestapo has assigned to watch me, I suppose.
You do? I've arranged for your clearance. In the meantime, you can make yourself comfortable in the women's compound. Now, if you will follow me, then you can see what we are building so deep under the surface of the earth. What no American has ever seen. Come.
We are now about to descend 200 feet below the surface of the Earth.
The factory below is totally safe from aircraft raids. It is invulnerable to attack of any kind. Even if Germany were to be occupied, it is possible for us to shut off Großmünchen and keep on fighting from below.
We'll never have to. We're winning the war.
All clothes must be removed and left behind at this station. Don't worry, uniforms will be provided once we have entered the factory.
Every precaution has been taken that nothing can be brought into Großmünchen that might be used for the purpose of sabotage. And of course, if nothing can be of value can be taken out of the factory.
It's comforting to know that through these portals pass the cleanest Germans in the world.
So you see, March, how these security measures here are foolproof.
Yes, an enemy agent couldn't even begin to get into Großmünchen.
He might get in, but he would never get out alive.
This order confirms that the initial model will be ready next week. It will be removed to the open seas where the firing apparatus will be activated. We've waited a long while for this day, and I know the Führer himself is grateful to each and every one of you for your tireless efforts.
Gentlemen, and dear Fräulein Doctor, may I introduce Herr David March, propaganda expert recently assigned to Großmünchen. Dr. Stolnitz, Dr. Becker, Dr. Zimmer.
Welcome to Großmünchen, Herr March.
And our Chief of Security, Gruppenführer Luber. And, of course, our very own Dr. Gretchen Hoffmann.
I think we may be at cross purposes. My job is to convince the Allies to surrender, so there won't be any need to use the weapon you've created.
No, we are not at cross purposes. Long ago, Professor Eckert taught me that the job of the scientist was to create weapons that would make peace a necessity. What we've done here will shorten the war by many years.
Is this Felix Eckhardt of the university you're speaking of?
Yes. He's a dear friend. Do you know him?
This also states that the Führer has ordered a delegation from Großmünchen to appear before him in Berlin next Tuesday along with the blueprints. He will, of course, have the final approval before mass production can commence.
You should enjoy a trip to Berlin.
I don't know. I'm very busy here.
Of course Gretchen will go. The Führer has heard of her and wants to meet her.
How long have you been living down here?
3 years and 2 months.
Well, don't you miss the outside world?
No. Everything I need is here.
Really?
Excuse me, please.
She's very shy.
Yes, and very attractive.
In order to reach Europe, the Allied forces will mount a vast armada to sail across the Channel to France. This is our weapon to destroy that armada. Miniature submarines, each manned by one pilot. And with it, they will carry 2 of these small but effective guided missiles which can be launched from beneath the water. Once the Allied invasion is ready, Germany will have produced hundreds of these submarine missiles.
A formidable weapon, but driving the Allies back to England will hardly win the war.
You're discounting phase 2 of the Großmünchen project. Once the Allied expeditionary forces have been destroyed at sea, hundreds of these submarines will be launched from their mother ships off the coast of North America. They will proceed underwater up the Mississippi, Hudson, Potomac, and St. Lawrence rivers, deep into the very heart of the United States and into the Great Lakes region. There they will launch their missiles at the great cities of America, like Boston, Chicago, New York, and into the industrial centers of our enemy. Without landing one man on American soil, Germany will defeat the United States.
And that's where I come in, to convince the American people that they can't possibly win the war. Well, I admire the diligence and planning that went into this operation. It's typical of German ingenuity.
All that's required now is the Führer's signature. We will build 25 submarines a week, perhaps more.
Good morning, Doctor. Have they provided you with a new wardrobe for your trip? The style's changed in 3 years.
I was never very conscious about clothes anyhow.
You're going to find we built a new Germany, stronger, more determined, with no place for the weak or indecisive. We Nazis...
Please. I don't know anything about politics.
Well, then I suggest you make no further reference to men like Felix Eckhardt.
What exactly do you mean?
He was arrested 2 years ago. He's a prisoner in Berghoff Castle.
In prison?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Tell me why.
Seems your friend objected to some of the uses his guided missiles were being put to.
I don't believe it. I received a letter from him only this week in which he praised the war effort.
Gretchen, a man can be forced to write letters. The Gestapo can be very persuasive. Probably just using him to keep his former students in line.
You see? Nothing but encouragement for my work at Großmünchen.
Letters. Gretchen, listen to me. There's a new Germany. Now, you're going to have to learn to get used to it and accept it.
When I see the Führer, I shall plead that they reopen Eckart's case.
For your own sake, forget about Eckhart. He's just as good as dead. Don't associate yourself with him, and don't ever mention his name again.
He brought me up. He paid for my education. He was such a sweet and gentle man.
And what's more important, your sentimental memories or your country?
Why are you doing this? One moment you're my friend, and the next you're accusing me.
I felt it my duty to advise you that Fräulein Dr. Hoffmann may be a security risk, especially after she's been to Berlin.
Go on, March.
She doesn't seem to understand the measures which have become necessary now that Germany is fighting for her very survival. And her attachment to the traitor Eckhart may prove to be dangerous.
I'm well aware of your discussion with Dr. Hoffman. A quarter of why it was a listening device.
I had no idea.
It's good you've reported this. It might be best if she did not make the journey. But the Führer has a special request of her presence.
I suggest you go with her.
No, my duties here will not permit me to do so. Instead, you will go with her as an escort. She seems attracted to you, and so it will not be difficult for you to keep watch on her at all times.
But I just got here.
You will only be away 48 hours, and as you say, this could be extremely important.
As you wish.
Mademoiselle Richard?
Why am I being sent?
The Gestapo informs me you have a certain aversion to our friend March.
March is an opportunist. He will change sides again if he thought Germany was losing the war.
I agree. But for now, he will be useful. He's joining the delegation to Berlin for the purpose of watching Fräulein Dr. Hoffmann. You, too, will go along to watch March.
You don't take many chances, do you?
In my position, I cannot afford to.
You have spies to spy on your spies, informers to inform on your informers. I promise you, if March is planning any tricks, I will be the first to know of it. I'm supposed to watch you.
Once we reach the Grand Hotel in Berlin, I'll need to slip away for a few hours.
I shouldn't have any trouble covering for you.
Berghoff Castle is only a 2-hour ride from Berlin. I may be able to free Eckhart and be back in the morning.
What for?
Großmünchen can only be destroyed by one of the scientists who helped build it. I think Eckhart can convince Gretchen to help me blow it up.
Oh, that was wonderful. I haven't danced since I was a little girl.
So you're happy you came after all, huh?
Yes. I'd forgotten what life was like. That there could be so many happy people doing whatever they pleased. Oh, no more, please. I'm so unaccustomed to drinking.
No. Your work is completed. We're celebrating. Here.
Everything's so gay, so beautiful. Today I met and shook hands with Adolf Hitler himself. Hasn't anyone seen that? Are they all blind? How can they go on dancing? But you told me about Professor Eckhart. Suddenly I believe it.
Forget about that. We're supposed to be having a good time.
You tell me my friend is a prisoner. That he's to die when the war is over. You fill me with champagne, whirl me around and laugh and tell me to forget.
I think we'd better go upstairs.
No, wait. I think I understand it now. These people only pretend to be gay. But behind all this music and laughter, they're really afraid. There's nothing but fear.
Come on.
Leaving so early?
Dr. Hoffman is very tired. I'll meet you in the lobby. Krauss. I won't be in my room tonight, you understand?
You are a very fortunate man.
Everything is working perfectly. No one will bother you till morning.
Stay with her.
But
where are you going?
Sit down, Dr. Hoffman. I have some things to show you. Newspaper clippings, photographs. I want you to know the truth about the kind of war Germany is waging.
position of the traitor Eckhart?
The Commandant should be
The
not.
Commandant is getting dressed and will join me here. Now, which one is his cell?
Number 4, but I must have not authorization.
Who are you? Here, take this gun. We've got to get away. Hurry.
I'm not going anywhere.
I come from Gretchen Hoffman. She wants to talk to you. Let's go. Eckhart escaped. 2 men and he went over the wall. Get after him.
Eckhart has escaped. Get after him. Lower the bridge!
Just lie down. Gretchen, I brought along an old friend.
Don't call me that.
But why? What have they done to you? Have they hurt you?
Who are these people you've allied yourself with? Don't you know you're in the company of spies?
But they said they would help you. They said you were imprisoned.
Yes, but I'm alive. That's more than can be said for others who did the mistakes I did. Who thought that their words could make a difference.
Professor Eckhart, arrangements have been made for the underground to hide you.
Do you really think you can fight these Nazis? Don't you know they're going to win as they've always won in the past? That they cannot be defeated?
Oh, there's no need to be afraid now.
Fear is a good thing. It teaches us to survive. Once I wanted to give my life in order to resist them. They said, build missiles which we will use against civilians to terrorize women and children, and I said no. But then at the last moment I said to myself, what do you care about them? You must live. And if they must die so that you may live, let them die. Let the whole world die.
What are you saying?
I'm going to turn you all over to the Gestapo.
You must be insane.
Insane? When you have made decisions that cause the death of tens of thousands, why do 3 more murders make you insane? When I hand you over, my position will be secure. Perhaps they will forget I have opposed them. Perhaps they will give me back my post.
We've taken away your will, your humanity, your knowledge of right from wrong.
There is no right. There is no wrong. When Hitler wins this war, the killing will have just begun. The only hope is to submit, to obey as I obey.
Eckhart, you say you've killed thousands of people, but never face to face. Well, here's your chance to be a good Nazi.
I didn't think it was possible. They changed him into a monster.
Or was he telling the truth when he said that Germany is filled with people who don't know right from wrong?
I don't know. I don't think I understand anything anymore.
Gretchen, listen to me. Now, the war has changed since you went to Grossmünchen to work. Eckhart was correct when he told you what Hitler intends to do. Now, that's why I need your help to blow up the Grossmünchen project.
Pardon the intrusion. I'm checking the whereabouts of everyone in the hotel.
What seems to be your problem, Kraus?
An unidentified person has committed suicide by leaping from the building. Have you been together all evening?
They haven't left the room. March has been boring her with tales of his past, and she's being very patient with him.
Good night.
Thank you.
It will take a few days before Eckhart is identified.
Doesn't give us much time at Grossmünchen. The plant must be destroyed by Friday. Will you help us?
But my colleagues, my friends who've worked with me, you're asking me to blow them up, to kill them all.
I'm only after the factory and the equipment. We'll spare as many lives as possible.
And I will help. I must because I'm a German. And a German must do something.
What will you do if she decides not to help you?
In that case, I'll have to destroy the submarine plant myself.
But you already told me that's impossible. There is no way to take in a weapon.
I'll find something. I have to.
Maybe this will help. Take this package of chocolate. It contains a small detonator cap, but you'll need to find some explosives to attach it to.
Grossmünchen has the tightest security setup I've ever seen. But I can try. Excuse me.
Well, Dr. Hoffman, we're almost back to Grossmünchen. How do you feel?
How should I feel? Like walking through a nightmare.
I have no clearance to go below to the factory. So it will be just you and March. Do exactly what he says, and everything will be all right.
Will it? For more than 3 years, I've worked down there in the darkness to build this weapon. Do you really think it will be so easy for me to help destroy it? And perhaps kill my friends as well?
But you saw what the Nazis have already done to your friend Eckhart.
Knowing what is right to do and doing it are two different things. I know that now.
Please take your seat. We are about to land at Grossmünchen.
Everything looks so different now. It's hard to believe that this was my home for so long.
Just relax and keep your usual schedule, and I'll call you when I'm ready.
Maybe you won't find a way to do it. Maybe you'll just have to give up.
bullet wound the British commandos gave you, is it painful?
Not too bad.
Your bandage seems soaked. We'll get you another one at the infirmary.
No, this will be just fine.
Would you be so kind as to remove the bandage and let me see the wound?
The doctor told me to keep it covered.
Please. You had best report to the infirmary. The wound looks like it's going to open again.
Notice you've been avoiding me.
Leave me alone. I need time to think.
You've made your decision. You must stick to it.
I don't have to do anything.
Excuse me. May I have this?
I can't betray these people. They love me. They care about me.
Yeah, what about that thing? There's no feelings, no emotions. It's an instrument for killing. Now, that is what I have to destroy, not your friends.
If I would decide to inform Luber about your real mission here, you would kill me, wouldn't you? You would kill me without a second thought.
Yes.
And are you any better than this machine we've built? You're supposed to be a human being. But how many have you killed without thinking twice? I can't help you. But I won't betray you either.
Well, that doesn't solve my problem. I found the way to destroy Grossmünchen. I've got my weapon now.
Oh, that's impossible. You could have brought nothing in.
It's been here all along. You built it for me. Can you imagine what the effect would be if the submarine's missiles were fired off inside this chamber?
That would be implosion.
Exactly. The whole place would cave in. But it has to be done before the test model is taken out of here, and that means tonight.
It won't work. As a safety precaution, the missiles are never activated until they're out to sea. It's impossible to fire them here.
Well, then you must activate them for me.
No.
Gretchen, I'll make a deal with you. Activate the missiles for me, and you can warn your friends. Take them out of here before the explosion. Remember what you said to me about a German doing the right thing? Well, here's your opportunity. Now. You'll be hurting no one but Hitler.
You keep your promise? All right, then. Tonight. Is it dead?
Wasn't one of your friends, was he?
No. I didn't know him.
We made a deal. I intend to keep it. We should work on those missiles.
Security, Luba speaking.
They have identified the body of a suicide at the Grand Hotel. He's Professor Felix Eckhardt.
But I understood Eckert escaped from the political prison at Berghof. What was he doing at the hotel so soon afterward?
In Berlin, we suspect there's some conspiracy concerning members of your staff at Großmünchen who were at the hotel.
There's only one person here in any way related to Eckhardt. That's Fräulein Dr. Hoffmann.
suppose you've discovered our little secret. I trust you won't repeat anything that might prove to be embarrassing to Fräulein Hoffmann. Besides, I was only with her under orders from you.
In Berlin, at the hotel, she had no visitors?
I kept her all to myself.
Attend to your duties. I'll contact you later. We'll get dressed and come with me. There's some questions I must put to you.
Where's Gretchen? I haven't seen her all morning.
Have the missiles mounted. We're behind schedule. The submarine has to be removed to the test site in approximately 95 minutes.
All right. I will give you one more opportunity to cooperate. When was the last time you saw Felix Eckhardt?
But I told you nearly 4 years ago. What more do you want?
What was the true purpose of your trip to the Grand Hotel?
I went there by order of the Führer. You yourself gave me my instructions.
It was no coincidence that Eckhardt escaped that same night.
Truppenführer, the guard who was on duty in the missile storage room is missing from his post.
Why do you annoy me now with these details? I don't want to hear about anything until this matter has been cleared up. Get out! Again.
What time is it?
Don't worry, you have no place to go.
But I must talk to Dr. Stolnitz. To Becker, I must see them.
You will see no one.
Becca, I must see them. I must tell them.
What? Why are you so worried about the hour? What do you expect to happen? Talk!
Good morning, gentlemen.
Well, March, how do you like our baby?
I'm sure she'll work just fine. I made a promise to Gretchen that I'd like to keep.
Where's Gretchen?
She's being detained by Luber. He thinks she's a spy.
I don't believe it.
But this is absurd. I know. I'm sure that if you had a few words with Luber, the matter could be cleared up. Why don't you go up and see him now?
Yes, we'll go.
What was that you said about the promise you made to her?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Attention! Attention! All unauthorized personnel will now leave the testing area. Will now leave the testing area.
You're the pilot. Well, we certainly want to get your name and background correct so that your family will be proud when they read about you. May I look at the complicated controls that you handle?
Certainly.
Thank you.
No, it's all right.
My name is Hans König. I was born in Bavaria, a small village called Mildorf.
That's very interesting.
I joined the submarine service shortly after the First War. Naturally,
What controls the missile launching?
Oh, the two center knobs. They must be pressed simultaneously.
What are you doing?
Get out of my office! It's none of your business.
Get to the elevators, please. You have to get out of here right away, please. The whole place is going to be blown to bits. I did it. I alone did it.
You're a very brave man, Hans. I salute you.
Something's gone wrong in the factory. They have set off the alarm.
Close the protective doors. Seal off the factory. Hold her here. Well, you've succeeded.
Yes. And now I know what I did was right. There will never be another weapon like the one we built here. There will never be another Grossmunch.
Get to the elevator quick.
Aren't you coming?
Flynn, Dr. Hoffman, and I are remaining here below. Get out. That's an order.
Both failed in our duty for the fatherland.
Where's Gretchen Hoffman? Down there is Luger.
He kept his promise. He got them out in time.
March?
Yes, of course, March.
Believe it, but she confessed openly. I heard her. She and she alone was responsible.
She must have been a saboteur all along.
I know, I heard it. But I'll never believe it.
I'm sorry about her.
She asked me once if it was easy to forget some of the things that had to be done in this war. I'll never forget her. Tell Blue Light they don't have to worry about Grossmünchen anymore.